yeah, it's just my love for the game. I want to be around it. So that's why I want to be the grad assistant too, and just see where, my life goes from
Yeah.
there.
See where it goes. Now, when you were in high school, obviously you started, from the bottom to, help the team move up the ladder. Now, at what point in high school, Mashayla, did you realize, okay, I want to play college ball, and then, I think I can play on that level.
Uh-huh. Let's see. I'd say I think since middle school I knew I wanted to play college basketball
Oh,
just because
early.
it was early just because the AAU circuit and everything. That's what kind of you do AAU mostly to get that exposure and to get that, to get seen and things like that. I wouldn't say I was getting like that exposure at such a young age, but maybe starting like my freshman year of high school and stuff, that's when like college coaches started coming out and watching me play. So that's when you're like, okay, there were some like pressures I felt like, but it was just because you want to get seen and you want to get looked at. But I stayed the course and everything, and then so Eastern Kentucky came around, and then that's when yeah, so I committed there, and it was just yeah, it was good.
Now, obviously, Glenville State, you transferred out there. Kind of share, in between Eastern Kentucky and Glenville State, like that welcome to college basketball moment when you realize, okay, this ain't high school ball no more.
Oh yeah,
I gotta
so
step my game up.
so I really quick I realized that because with Division One, actually you got to be in there in the summer. So literally, like it was, I think I had what like June off, and then right back at it in July of like what was it 2018 I think I graduated 2018. Yeah, so 2018 like back at it in July. So that's when I was like, whoa, like we have summer ball, okay? Like we're over here, practicing and doing skill work and all this stuff in the summer, and I was like, I feel like I'm still like high school, you know what I mean? But it was a I think it was an okay adjustment. But yeah, it took me a little bit to, get to the speed and, just the level of intensity, but no, but I feel like I learned a lot. Yeah, then so from there, I like I said, it's what happened with my coaches and stuff, and it just they let them go until my team decided to leave, and pretty much so finding Glenville, I think with the help of my actually Coach Kim was recruiting me out of high school, but like
Mhm.
but like I thought that I wanted to stay closer to home, and Eastern Kentucky was just like the better thing for me,
Naturally.
but luckily she was still reached out again after she saw me in the transfer portal, so I was like so excited. They were a great team, they the year before I think they made it, um, they won like MEC conference champion, all this stuff. So I went in for a visit. Then she was like, "Oh, we shoot threes, we play fast, we all," and I was just like, "This is my thing. Like, I love this."
Let's
And they
go.
press, all game, really intense. So when I didn't do the transfer, I thought it was going to be sweet actually because I was like, okay, I'm going from D1, to D2. I was like, oh, it's going to be great, it's going to be fine. But rude awakening, it was like it was really intense. It was really hard actually. Like let's see, like coaches, she was like I said, so we would like run all the time. People would even now to this day, I think their group messages name like track team, like Linville State track. But I don't no regrets, like I said, but because I was in the best shape of my life for those 3 years or whatever. But that was the definition of like grind, and we had a slogan every year, and I think our last one for our last season was trust the process, and like I still live by
Trust the
that. So
process.
TTP, trust the process. So like all the hard work in the preseason and like literally blood, sweat, and tears, literally like
Mm-hmm.
on the track, early morning, 6 a.m. So as you see, just it takes a lot, really, because people see like the rings and they see the fancy stuff and me doing all this, but I'm the first to tell them like I work my butt off for that stuff. You know what I mean? So like I said, it was never easy, but like no regrets. I remember every time getting on the baseline, I was like, okay, this is for this. This is for something bigger. You know what I mean? It was
Okay.
always for something bigger. So
You
yeah, so
trusted the process.
uh-huh.
Now, uh, let's get a little bit dark here. So, with most of my student athletes, upperclassmen,
Hmm.
I know it's very challenging when we revisit the start of the pandemic. For
Hmm.
those that were already on campus, already on scholarship, kind of share with us a day in the life of Ms Shayla Cecil during that first couple months of this mysterious COVID
Oh,
pandemic.
let's see. Okay. So excuse me. So actually, when it was first happening, let's see, we were actually still playing. Like we had just won our conference championship. If you're talking about
Okay.
2019 in March, when it first was happening.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I guess around the yeah, so March we were still playing. So we were in the MEC, just won the MEC, right, championship, all this stuff. We were traveling. We were traveling to I think it was like Gannon, just wherever the tournament was. And this is when we started seeing like everything like on the way up there, we're like seeing like NBA's getting canceled, call like everything's getting canceled. So we're like, okay, like what's going on? Are we going to still be
Uh-huh.
playing? It was just such like a weird time, like literally on the way up there. So we actually get there, get to the gym, we practice, get back on the bus, we get to the hotel, and we see the team that we play, and they're like all in the pool, they're just and we're like, are they is this like they're trying to be funny? Like what's going on? Like whatever. So eventually they're like, yep, it's all canceled. So literally I felt so bad for like our seniors, like how it ended and things like that. So that was kind of rough too, because like who knows what could this was my sophomore year of college, but who knows like what could have happened.
Okay.
But so from there, I think it was like spring break anyway. So like then I think we stayed the night, we all went back. So then we left for spring break and then literally just never came back because of, because of all that. So yeah, it was a little rough just because knowing too that I wanted to finish my season. But yeah, so I just had to go back home and then from there we just stayed home and then it was really weird too because sometime in like we had to go back and get our stuff and all that stuff. But yeah, that's besides the point. But it was a little rough, but yeah, I don't know.
Now, because I know for those that were going from like the like junior or senior in high school were trying to get scholarships. I
Oh,
heard that it put a lot of strain on them as far as like getting those tapes in, getting those
oh
highlight reels,
yeah.
and getting the exposure. Now, you since you were already in it now, did you like see an end to the end to like everything being shut down, or did you kind of feel like okay, we might not ever play college ball again?
Well, for the actually you say the like the juniors and seniors. I think my sister at one point was one of those like she was a junior I think at the time. So I
Okay.
was like got like firsthand in like it was actually really hard too, just because like we didn't even know like, okay, is AAU gonna go on? Because it goes on during the
Mm-hmm.
summer and all this stuff. So um it was just really hard just to get that exposure because like no one's coming out, no one's doing this, no one's doing
Yeah.
that. So just like I felt like kudos to those kids that actually had to, they had to go I feel like had to go the extra mile to like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, just to send their stuff and just to make their highlight stuff just to really be seen just because of the pandemic. But what was the question with me though? The
Did you think that this was like the end
oh,
as far as like college basketball as we know it? Like, are they going to
right.
shut everything down permanently?
Well, it was the end for that year, but I think I didn't know how big it was going to get. So at that time, I was like, okay, like, next year will be, whatever. So like, even going into the following year, it was still, a big thing. It was like, that's when we had to come back. It was like a big, like, mask mandate. It was like they checking shots and it was just like, all that stuff. So
Uh-huh.
it was like a big process and things. And, the COVID season, that's why we got it back. But the COVID season, I think we ended up playing like a total of like 16 games. That was actually a rough year just with everything going
Oh,
on.
I bet. I bet.
Yeah, but we were lucky enough to play, but it was yeah, I didn't know what was going to happen after, after all that just because of given like they canceled our tournament and we just didn't know, but luckily, there was a good enough time in between to they let us play some type of basketball during the time. So,
As far as the whole culture piece, now, obviously you lived in Kentucky, you've been in West Virginia, and here you are in Michigan,
mhm.
Detroit, Motown, Motor City, the D, the
Right.
313. I grew up in Detroit myself, moved to Colorado, and then recently returned to Detroit. Obviously, I noticed that Detroit is such a unique city. Kind of share with us your first dip into that Detroit culture.
Yeah, okay. So like excuse me, like I said, like I came from West Virginia, small town in the boonies. Like we had to take like a 15 mile, like literally we called it the 15-mile road, like just to get into the city, like to get into the little town. But so like I said, it's the different spectrum. So like coming here, I was just such in awe. Like even like riding around like downtown now, I'm just like, oh my
Uh-huh.
gosh, I love this city. Like it's just so great. And like I said, I just loved like you said, like the culture and this diversity and friendly people, walking around. It's just like even walking on campus, I'm like, I told my roommate the other day, I was like, I think the people that I saw walking to the rec was the most people I've seen maybe in 2 or 3 days, like at Linville. So I just love that aspect of, people and, just communicating and just, walking around, being able to be in the city and, having all these like great things and buildings and just things to do. So it is a little bit culture shock, but like, Lexington, I was in the city, but like this is like the city. So like, I don't know, it's been great and I love it here. So yeah, it's cool.
Awesome. Of course, with each guest, we gotta put them on the spot. If you were coming up with your life story movie, which actress would play you, and also what would be the title of that movie?
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Critical thinking.
Yes. I'm gonna go with um ooh, I don't know. I really love Kiki Palmer. I love her.
Okay.
I don't know. She's like, I don't know. I really love her, but I also like Gabrielle Union and like, um, I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna just go with Kiki Palmer just because she's like younger or whatever, a little
Yeah,
younger, I
younger.
guess. I'll go with her, and then I'll say the name of it. Um, let's see. I don't know. I kind of like a slogan, like the trust the process type
Trust the
thing. Like, you know what
process.
I mean?
Okay.
Like, I feel like I live by that. Trust the process, or like everything happens for a reason. But I'd have to think of a good movie title for that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
something along those lines.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And so your current major right now, you said, is it mental health counseling?
So, I got my bachelor's and my major was behavioral science, so like a
Okay.
psychology. I minored in health promotions, and then
Okay.
right now I'm doing my master's. Right now it's just like master's of education or master's of arts in counseling, but I think I'm gonna do a
Okay.
concentrate in school counseling. So
Okay.
I think I want to work in the school system at least with kids and maybe
Okay.
make my way up to college counseling and maybe be like an academic advisor. So which I'd be like
Nice.
around like sports too. So we'll see
Okay.
like with the high school. I think I want to start out with maybe like in the high school setting and then maybe try to be like a coach too, just to see like
Okay.
like a high school coach just to see where I could if I can make my way up and just see
Okay.
I'll have both both ways to go.
Exploring your options.
hmm
Exploring your
Always
options.
have always have options
Nice.
and backup plans and things like that. So.
Nice. And this is all, in line with the spirit of this youth mentorship podcast. We want to expose our young people around the world to different career fields. And even within those career fields, for example, I also have a counseling background. My current
Okay.
job now, I'm one of only a handful of police co-response behavioral health specialists. So I'm basically, um,